Is it recording now?
It says recording pending on my end.
That's what it says for me.
Oh, there we go. Now it's recording.
Okay, now it's recording. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Senator Casey. Okay. The reading of the bill can start now from whichever author.
All right, I can read if y'all can hear me.
Yes, we can.
So whereas the Student Senate is the legislative body that serves as the representative of the student body, whereas eligibility requirements of student senators should be fully vested in the Student Government Association bylaws, whereas to retain membership in the Student Senate, this constitutional amendment will give the Student Senate flexibility to amend eligibility requirements of its own body and the SGA bylaws, whereas this constitutional amendment more easily allows the Student Senate to accommodate issues that may arise with eligibility and to establish its own standard for eligibility. Whereas this constitutional amendment will continue to support a committed Student Senate, helping undergraduates, students reach their full potentials in order to build a better future for the University of North Texas. Let it be resolved that the following constitutional amendment be brought for a public referendum in the next regular election of the SGA in the spring of 2021. So Article 4, Student Senate of the Constitution, under Section 4, subsection B, we are striking out subsection B. Student senators must be enrolled in the constituency in which they have filled for election. And then let it be resolved that the subsequent numbering be amended as necessary. Respectfully submitted, myself, Senator David of the College of Merchandising, Hospitality, and Tourism, Senator Casey Jimenez, College of Public Health and Service, Devin Skinner, UNT student, Maria Velasco, SJ intern, and lastly, Senator Sofia Benvores of the College of Music.
Does anybody have a motion?
I motion to go to a period of questioning.
We have a second.
Second.
Senator Grant, you can start with the first question.
Okay, so this, I mean, since David, you just read the bill, I'm just going to, and your name's on it, I'm just going to go ahead and just ask the question. So, from my understanding, from what I've read and from what we've discussed, with what I've discussed with other authors of this bill or signatories of this bill, this would just make clear or make sure that, like, kind of like your situation that happened, that, like, you know, if you give up, not give it, like if you have to switch majors, which is like, you know, hell, if you haven't done it yet, I mean, kudos to you. But I mean, like, if you just, I guess this would kind of help make sure that there's this stableness and not this chaotic mess that we currently have. Just like you switch a major, you're still eligible to be a senator. Is that my overall understanding of that?
So currently in the Constitution, there is a statute. Let me pull it up on my computer. But essentially, what I want to do with this piece of legislation is kind of, like mentioned, give the Senate flexibility to amend anything. So the bylaws will have the ultimate say, because currently there is that element of student senator must be in the constituency in which they have filed for. That clause kind of prevents us from introducing legislation to accommodate any issues that may arise with the eligibility. If that answers your question, Senator.
It kind of does. So is this like just across the board, or is this for like the, like, you know, since there are some contradictions or vagueness in our Constitution / bylaws, is this going to be like just open, like it's open to interpretation?
No, since this Constitution, because since the bylaws says the same thing, in order for us to change anything, the clause before it, under Article 4, subsection, or Section 4, subsection A, it says student senators will be elected according to the rules and eligibility requirements established by the Student Government Association bylaws. This is in the Constitution. So essentially what we're doing is we're moving it for anything regarding eligibility be moved completely to the bylaws. Does that make sense? So that means we would, in order to change anything, we would have to introduce a piece of legislation that would establish a new clause for eligibility, but essentially nothing will be done since there's another clause in the bylaws that says the exact same thing. So regardless of anything, nothing is really going to change unless we give, say, the bylaws the last say when it comes to eligibility of the Student Senate. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you, Senator.
I see another hand up. Let me see who is.
I can't see.
Senator Andy, you had a question?
Yes, Senator David, could you refer to the clause in the bylaws that?
I sure can. Give me one. I just need to pull it up on my computer. So it should be under Article, I believe, is 12. So active member eligibility requirements and non-discrimination statement under Section 1. So it should be towards the last page if you're on the SGA website. The clause that says is subsection E, Section 1, Article 12. That talks about senators must be currently enrolled members of the college, school, or academy they attended to represent according to the University Enterprise Information System, so the EIS, exception to the condition found in Article 1, subsection 7.
Can everybody see my Senator David?
Yes, we towards the last page. Okay. So keep going down. So essentially, that's the clause that says the exact same thing in the Constitution. Is a little bit worded differently, but essentially,
which one is it?
It's subsection.
Is it the eligibility and requirements?
It's not on. Wow. All right. For you is D, mine is E. That's weird. Let me. Give me a second. I'm gonna drop in the chat because I think that's a different one.
Okay.
But Senator JT, did you pull that off the SGA website?
I did pull this right off the website. So if this is not the most updated Constitution, then
yeah. I pulled mine off
because that one does not have the table of contents. That's 2016. So
let me go to this one. I think this is the revised one. In which section is it, Senator David?
There you go. Towards the bottom, subsection E. And there's multiple people that want to be recognized. Oh my, this is. And then the one I'm referring to currently is the bylaws, and then I move to Can I even motion anything while I'm speaking on the floor, JT?
I can't see also. Can you just tell me the name and then I'll recognize them?
Devin.
Okay. Can somebody motion to recognize Devin?
I move to recognize Devin.
Second.
Thank you, Senators. Yeah, I was gonna go off of what Krista was saying. You go to the main page and you can click on the Constitution button. I will say I do believe at least the bylaws are still out of date on that homepage, and I hope that's something that's immediately addressed after the meeting. But in terms of this bill, I did actually have some procedural questions. First, I just wanted to make sure that this was placed on the agenda as emergency status, JT.
It was not, but that can be something that we motion for and we can vote on.
Okay, just want to make sure we're clear on that. In the case that the Senate does decide to make that motion, I just wanted to make sure I understood quorum. My understanding is that there's 17 senators total in the Senate right now, and according to my tally, there were 15 present senators. I just wanted to verify that before we continued with the bill, just so that we were all on the same page.
Yeah, we meet quorum, correct, Senator Maria?
Yes, we currently have 19 senators and there are 16 present. So your numbers are a little bit off, but we are at quorum.
Okay. I when I said quorum, I did mean meeting the threshold for the 2/3 absolute majority vote. Just to be clear, but yes, thank you.
Any other questions? And I think, there is one.
Senator Andy, that's who.
Yes, go ahead, Andy.
So can you explain why you think it's necessary to strike this from the Constitution?
Yeah, of course. So, sorry to hear the lag. So essentially, so in my case, I was senator last year. I was under the College of Science, and because I changed my major, I violated, or in a sense was ineligible to remain in my seat. So essentially, the goal is, once this is passed, and of course, the statute will remain the same since there's that same clause in the bylaws. Essentially, I would pass another piece of legislation that would amend our eligibility requirements to allow senators that were, so sitting senators, allowed to transfer to their new college if seats are available with the approval of the Senate. And of course, we can go into detail of how would that look like, but currently that's my intention with it is I want to, so the big question is retaining senators in the Senate. And I know this has never happened before, but I want it to be something that could prevent senators in the future to be in my situation because I was chairman of my committee and I was an officer of the Senate. I had to leave my positions in the Senate and go through the appointment process. Does that answer your question, Senator?
Yeah, sort of a follow-up question. So suppose there's a senator in the College of Engineering or the College of Information that transfers to another college. Do you think that senator would have proper understanding of what's happening at Discovery Park so as to represent them?
So I'm going to step back a little bit. So this transfer idea will only happen if they're under that constituency. Just make that very clear. So let's say if I was originally College of, sorry, Casey's has her hand.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I can clear this one up.
Yeah.
So the idea around this is, because as of right now, you can get appointed to the college with the proper amount of signatures, and you have to go through the Senate for that. The idea of this is David lost his seat, and he was not part of SGA at all after he lost his seat, and then he had to reapply. The idea is, if this goes through the process in which we're envisioning, he won't have to leave SGA, but he'll still have to get approved by the Senate to be able to take that seat. So ultimately, it's just using the same appointment process we have, but David won't lose his seat. And if the Senate doesn't approve it, then, that's a whole nother conversation. But that's the idea, is that we're still using this appointment process, but he won't be kicked out of his committee, nor will he get kicked out as a senatorship or as secretary of SGA or whoever that might be in the future, if that makes sense.
So if you go through the amendment of the bylaws as you were envisioning, if we had a senator that switched colleges, would they have to be appointed to the Senate?
They would be. What do you repeat that, please, for a second?
So if you had a senator who transferred colleges, they wouldn't have to go through an appointment process?
No, but that would be the appointment process, is approving the transfer to the other college. Does that make sense? The Senate is going to have to vote on it no matter what.
It does make sense. I'm skeptical that this is necessarily something that should be in the bylaws instead of specified in an amendment to the Constitution.
The issue that we have is because of this section in the Constitution, we can't do anything at all. So the idea is when we take it out of the Constitution, this opens up the door to be able to change that, because the student body has to vote on this at the end of the semester.
Plus, back to what the whereas clause is, it talks about, oh my God, where is it? This constitutional, it's going to be the fourth whereas clause. So whereas this constitutional amendment more easily allows the Student Senate to accommodate issues that may arise with eligibility and establish its own standard for eligibility. So as senators, we know the process as anyone. And I feel like, again, if the Senate feels like this is something that they support, it would be up to the Senate at the end of the day. Does that make sense? So
I understand, but I can't help but feel that this amendment might do a disservice to the people of the College of Information, the College of Engineering, Frisco, places that aren't encapsulated in the immediate UNT ecosystem.
Why is that?
Because if you're not taking classes at these satellite campuses, I'm not sure that you can fully understand the issues, especially when it comes to staffing and coursework.
So the only way that you'd be able to transfer colleges in the Senate is if you change your major. So David was in the College of Science, correct?
yes.
He was in the College of Science as a math major, and then he changed his major to something in a different college. And because he changed his major, he was kicked from SGA because it was in a different college. So only he would be eligible because he changed colleges. I wouldn't be able to transfer to a different college unless I were to change my entire major to a separate college. Does that make sense? Is that what? So like if I wanted to be the senator of Frisco, I'd have to change my major to sports management. And then I'd have to be in that college for my courses. Does that make sense to be able to transfer?
That makes sense. So what I'm saying is, if you were taking college as an engineer at Discovery Park and you changed your major to math and are no longer taking courses at Discovery Park, would you have the same understanding of what's happening at Discovery Park?
Before we answer your question, I want to recognize Devin.
I second.
Thanks, senators. I understand what you're saying, Andy. Good to see you, by the way. The amendment here is restrictive within the context of senators being able to, Senate. So the situation, it's already kind of been explained a little bit by Senators Casey and David. David actually having gone through this experience. What we're trying to do, and this is the first step of a multi-step process, and it's necessarily the first step of a multi-step process. What we're trying to prevent is a senator who is duly elected from being ejected from their seat by through an unknown process, or just to be ejected from their seat, considering that they were elected. This amendment is going to allow the Senate to make the necessary changes to the bylaws to allow this to not happen again. Now, I don't want to speak on behalf of the other authors. This is just something I'm thinking. If we wanted to reintroduce another clause in the Constitution at a later date after the bylaw amendments have been made, and we feel that would be necessary, I think that's something worth considering at a later date. But doing this is going to be the first of a multi-step process to prevent what happened to David to happen to any other senators who were elected to represent their constituency. And that process is going to be more fully fleshed out when the bylaw amendment is introduced as that amendment. I imagine, but the whole point here is this isn't the end all. Okay, this is simply moving the onus of authority from the Constitution to the bylaws, and that might be a temporary thing for now, and then we might move it back to the Constitution if we feel it's appropriate. But doing it now is going to prevent the larger what I would probably argue is the larger concern of a senator who is elected to a seat not being able to represent that seat for the entire term that they were elected to serve. That's a big issue, and I believe that this clause encourages that to happen. So I don't know if that helps address that concern, Andy. I do see where you're coming from, but
I understand the thought process, and I think that works for the most part. But I'm very, very skeptical of how efficiently, even if you were duly elected as a senator to get to the College of Engineering or Information, how well you can execute your duties if you never go there.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Senator Andy, you are coming up with very good questions that I feel like we're just kind of going around in a circle here. If you have an objection, you are more than free to vote for or against this bill. But if you have you can also motion to amend. Hang on one second.
And yeah, I don't want. I want this to be clear as well. He's not forced to. You're not forced to transfer either. That's also the thing. The point is that David, who was elected into the College of Science, changed his major and then was kicked out of his seat for the College of Science. So the transfer process, and that's not happening at all today. I just want to make that clear. This is just amending the Constitution. He still retain his seat and with the constituents that elected him. But this is also another opportunity. Devin, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to quickly add that as the structure currently stands, Andy, there is a class student could theoretically apply to be a College of Information senator, even if we got rid of this amendment. So that concern that you have would still exist even if we got rid of the amendment. I see where you're coming from. I do think it's a separate issue that could be addressed in a different situation. But this is not necessarily representation of a different college issue. This is kind of more, to a certain extent it is, but the issue that you're coming from, it's something that would continue even if this constitutional amendment were to occur. And I just want to make sure I was clear on that.
Point of information, can I get a list or reference to a list of all of the seats, all of the SGA seats based on college? What colleges have SGA seats?
Right now,
Find out on the website.
Also, Senator Andy, we can send that to you post the meeting, or did you need that now?
As soon as possible.
Okay, I'll make sure that is emailed.
Andy, real quick, if you just want to look it up real quick, you can go onto the UNT SGA on Instagram, and it's one of their more recent posts. It just tells you how many seats are available right now and what colleges there are. For a little quick frame of reference. But since we kind of keep going around in the same circle, I would like to move on, and I would like to recognize Senator Sophia to be able to speak, because I've seen her hand go up and down a couple times to answer the questions for the authors.
I just didn't want to interject on anybody, but yeah, if like say I was a computer science major in the College of Engineering, and then I decided to switch to being an English major in the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, I would have still, like, regardless of if I'm now not taking classes or now taking classes within that college at Discovery Park, I still would have information because I would have been there and I would have been invested in a major for a certain amount of time to know what it's like to be at what you're getting at, Andy, at Discovery Park taking classes as a student. And obviously, when you're a major, like, you still make friends and you're still involved in classes and with classmates who are, may still be computer science majors that you still interact with on a daily basis. So you would still be representative of those constituents if you chose to stay as a new, English major in the College of Liberal Arts, but you're still sitting as a, College of Engineering senator. Like, I'm not a music major, but I'm a sitting senator for the College of Music because I interact with students on the college, interact with students who are actual music majors and involved in the College of Music on a daily basis, if you see my point here.
And also, Andy, in this situation, because that's not happening now, this is just opening up the flexibility for change. We would love to have your input on the future bylaws amendment that we're going forward with. So, because you have a different perspective on this, we would love to hear that, especially in any future planning. But right now, this is just supposed to open up the flexibility for even any change to happen, and then we can address that at a later date. Is that all right?
Senator Andy? Is he still here?
Your mic is muted.
I'm muted, my bad. I understand where you guys are coming from. Before we continue, I'd like to move that we move to a period of debate. If we're done with questioning or
Objection.
I second that objection.
We can't do a period of debate. We're not voting on the bill yet, and it has not been motioned to be moved into emergency status.
Before
I move to motion this into emergency status by roll call vote.
objection. I'm not trying to be difficult. I just want, and Casey, I see that. I'm not like just someone saying, I just want to answer Andy's concerns. Does he have an idea that he wants to amend, where he can motion to amend this bill before we put it into emergency voting to address those concerns? Or are you okay with just this being the first domino to fall, that the authors of this bill will then get you to have their input?
Well, what I was moving it to emergency status so we could get to that period of discussion, so we can have that conversation. Because of right now, we can't do that.
Okay, then I withdraw my objection.
All right, I move to put this into emergency status by roll call vote.
Second.
Okay, Senator Maria, you can do the roll call, and we'll just send, however it works out, we'll send this over to Cam afterwards. But right now, we're just voting to put this into emergency status to go ahead and make amendments and have debate. And then Senator Marie can start with that roll call.
Sounds good. Do you want me to record it, or are you answers?
Say it again.
Do you want me to record the answers, or are you doing that?
No, you can, or do you want me to? It doesn't matter.
I can do it. I included it.
Okay.
Senator Casey?
Aye.
Senator Grant?
Aye.
Senator Germain?
Yes.
Senator Jordan?
Yeah.
Senator Navia?
Aye.
Senator Stephania?
Aye.
Senator Tara?
Aye.
Senator Maria? Aye. Senator Sophia?
Aye, sorry.
Senator Melisa?
Aye.
Senator Victoria?
Aye.
Senator Alexica?
Aye.
Senator Stephanie?
Aye.
Senator Bryan,
Aye.
Senator David,
Aye.
Senator Andy,
Aye.
unanimous.
Okay, perfect. So now that we have unanimous consent, this bill has been put into emergency status. Does anybody have any motions?
Mr. Speaker.
Senator Andy, you may speak.
I move that the strikeout B student senators must be enrolled in the constituency in which they have filed for election be removed and replaced with B student senators must be enrolled in the constituency in which they have filed for election if they have been appointed or elected to a seat for the College of Information, the College of Engineering, or Frisco College.
Was there a second or an objection to that motion?
Second.
Aye.
Okay, so the motion was for what's here now. You want this to be removed and replaced with, say it again?
Basically, unstrike the text and add if they have been elected or appointed to a seat for the College of Information, the College of Engineering, or Frisco College.
So you're asking me to add this to this, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Say it one more time for me. I'm sorry.
And before the period, if they have been elected or appointed to a seat in the College of Information, the College
Say it again, the College of Information.
the College of Information, the College of Engineering, or Frisco College.
College of Engineering.
Yes.
Oh Lord, somebody spell engineering for me. ENG.
Sorry, ENG.
G.
INGER. ING.
And which one? What was the last one?
Frisco College. There's a spelling error in engineering.
Okay. Just do a review. I'm sorry, you said it was spelling error in engineering?
Engineering. ING.
Oh, ING. Okay. Is this what you wanted?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do I need to take this? I think I need to take the hard one out. Okay. And then you wanted it crossed out the same way, correct? Or you wanted to
No,
add it in?
it's correct the way it is, Speaker.
Okay. 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 Do we have a motion?
Mr. Speaker, if I may be recognized to talk.
Yes, you're organized, Senator Andy.
I think this amendment is important because, you know, I understand that you can be appointed or elected to another college, but I think it's important for your constituency to reappoint you and to say yes, even though he's not going here or she's not going here, we still want them to represent us. I think striking it from the Constitution altogether is risky in the long term.
Hold on, give me 1 second, Senator Andy. I want to make sure I have this right. So, point of order. Are you done with this constitutional amendment? Are you done with this part of it before you move into a debate or questioning? Like, are you done with this part?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Do I
move
have
to a time
do I-
of discussion.
Thank you. And do I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Second.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Senator, since we did it, I want to do it the correct way. Senator Casey, do you have a discussion point?
Yes. I know we just went through that whole thing, Andy, but would you be opposed with putting what you just did with the elected or appointed seat of the College of Information, College of Engineering, and Frisco College, and put that portion into the bylaws on a future bill?
I'm really hesitant to do so. I'm very hesitant to do so.
Why are you hesitant?
Because the bylaws are a lot easy. They're more easy to change, and it's very easy for the bylaws to be for senators from these three colleges to be overridden by the majority of senators. By the majority of the senators in the Senate.
All right, and so are you opposed? And point of privilege, someone's mic's on, it's creating a lot of feedback.
Yes, can you please make sure that everybody's muted in the meeting?
All right. So I guess I guess I still don't necessarily understand your concern. Would you be opposed? So hypothetically, if I were to change my major into the College of Engineering, would you be opposed to me going through an appointment process to become a College of Engineering senator?
No, because you would have to gather the amount of signatures from your college.
Okay. So once again, if we were to use that same signature process in a future legislation, would that be all right with you? And I guess the point I'm getting to here is we would love to hear your input on this, and that's why I've asked you if you would want to jump on board with writing this future legislation. But because we have to pass this in a referendum at the end of this semester, we won't be able to do anything at all, and so nothing will change until the end of next semester, if that makes sense. So if we go back to our original text, it just leaves open the possibility for us to make the proper adjustments. And we want you, I can't speak for David or anything, but I want you on board with writing this legislation because we want to hear the concerns of what you have. And, and we can address that in the next bill. But as the text was here, it was necessary, if that makes sense.
I truly hate to be the difficult one, and if there are any senators from Engineering, Information, or Frisco that can speak on this, but I think it's really important for it to be in the Constitution, because the Constitution is the protection for the minority voices in the Senate. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the amendment as written would still allow you to go forth with your amendment to the Constitution as you wanted it before, accepting the colleges of Information, Engineering, and Frisco.
The issue that we have is that this is going to contradict the bylaws as well. So if we change this, the bylaws do not say it, which means we're going to have to change the bylaws anyway. I move to strike the entire B section.
I second.
I also second.
May I interject?
Okay, hold on. Point of order. Devin needs to be recognized. So would somebody like to recognize Devin.
I recognize Devin.
Have a second.
I second Senator David.
So
Yeah,
just from a procedural standpoint, just so I'm clear, the motion on the floor is debate on the amendment, and would the amendment require a vote? Would the amendment require a vote? In other words, can an amendment be made to strike the original amendment, or does there have to be a vote on the amendment, voting no on it, if that makes sense?
From
And it looks
my
like Chris
from,
has put it into the chat there.
I can't see Krista in the chat, so I can't see her.
Krista said you can move to vote on the amendment, or you move to vote on the amendment.
I move to vote on the amendment.
Okay.
Objection. Casey, I'm not trying to be difficult. It's Senator Maria Lawson, who has not spoken yet, has raised her hand. I just want her to get her voice out before we vote on it. I'm just because I'm watching the participants and everybody. I'm trying to make sure as quickly as we can go.
Thank you, Grant. My thing is, I don't know if we're going to go through with this or not, but if we do, Frisco should be referred to as Frisco Campus. That's like the official name. So,
Is there a motion, Senator Maria?
I move to change the language in the amendment to say Frisco Campus.
Second.
Okay. Do we have a new motion on the floor now?
Wait, before another motion is made, I'm sorry, off of Maria's note, if we're including Frisco campus, should we also, in the instance that, you know, when we vote on this, it happens to pass, should we also include the Dallas campus as well?
The Dallas campus is not part of the UNT.
They don't have a.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to double check.
If there's no other points to be made, I move to vote on the amendment.
I second Senator David.
So Senator Maria, we can do the vote by roll call again.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
also this time, I cannot vote because I'm serving as speaker. So from the last anonymous one that we voted on, just for the record, take me off of it, and then I can't vote for the entirety of the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Senator Casey.
Nay.
Senator Grant.
Nay.
Senator Jordan.
A.
Senator Navia.
Aye.
Senator Stefania.
Nay.
Senator Tara.
Abstain.
Senator Maria, I see. Nay. Senator Sophia.
Nay.
Senator Melisa.
Nay.
Senator Victoria.
Nay.
Senator Alexica.
Nay.
Senator Stephanie.
Nay.
Senator Brian.
Abstain.
Senator David.
Nay.
Senator Andy.
Aye.
Okay, so we have 3 aye, 2 abstain, and 11 nays.
Okay. So that would mean that it didn't go through, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, the amendment didn't go through, Senator Andy. So I'm going to change it back to the original verbiage of what it was in already. I know this is a lot. Okay. Now, I believe that this is the original, if the authors can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the original context of what this bill had, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any new motions?
Is there any other discussion points that anyone else has before we make any motions?
And I will say before we begin, if anybody has any other discussion points, please, if it's already been reiterated already in the meeting, let's not come back to reiterate a discussion point. If anybody has any new discussion points, then make them be known before we move forward.
All right. Before I make a motion to vote, I just want to make this clear. This constitutional referendum
Amendment.
will not, this constitutional amendment, I apologize, will not change anything at the moment, and the student body will have to vote on it at the end of the semester. I want to make that clear. We're not changing anything ourselves. The student body will vote on this discussion at the end of the semester. I move to vote on, I'm sorry, is it a S 2021 B?
B, I think it's B1. It's B1.
I think it's B2. Sorry. I think on the website, I think clarification of positions within SGA was the first bill of the semester. I'm not sure if it was.
I believe that this is the first bill of the semester.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Sorry.
On
the
this is
website,
the
it's
first
wrong.
bill.
No, that was the second bill of the semester
Second bill?
because I did it second semester.
Because Bill 1 was clarification of positions within the SGA. Just want to.
So this would be Bill 2.
Okay.
So I move to vote on S 2021 B2, sitting senator eligibility by roll call vote.
I second.
Okay. Senator Maria, I guess we can do the vote by roll call. And that change for the billing, I want to make sure I have that right with Cam. And so I'll be sure once it's passed or not that we'll get that figured out with Cam, just to make sure we're all the way correct. Okay.
Senator Casey,
Aye.
Senator Grant,
Aye.
Senator Jordan,
Aye.
Senator Navia,
Abstain.
Senator Stefania,
Aye.
Senator Tara,
Aye.
Senator Maria, aye. Senator Sophia,
Aye.
Senator Melisa,
Aye.
Senator Victoria, Senator Victoria,
I apologize. I stepped away.
You're good.
Just abstain.
Okay. Alexica, or Senator Alexica,
Aye.
Senator Stephanie,
Aye.
Senator Brian,
Aye.
Senator David,
Aye.
Senator Andy,
Nay.
So we have 12 ayes, 2 abstain, and 1 nay.
So, okay, well, the bill is passed. The bill is passed. I will get this over to Cameron tonight, and this bill has been passed. So congratulations to the authors of the bill, and I look forward to seeing how we move forward with implementation later on to make it easier for senators to transition to another college. All right. All right, so moving forward in our agenda, the speaker expectations, this usually Cam's part on this. I would just say refer to your Senate calendars. Please do not forget about the our Senate testimonials. Those are still due this week from my understanding from Cameron. So please turn those in for your office hour. All you have to do is simply make a video about how your journey has been in Senate this year and how's it affected you. and refer to your Senate calendar for service events. As far as in-person meetings, our next meeting will be in person. So please make sure that you get tested. Testing can only be done from inside of the union, or which is the other one, y'all? I know it's the one on the third floor, and it's one more. I can't think of it off the top.
Curative testing through the union and Gateway, and then the rapid testing distributed by the Health and Wellness Center.
There we go. So those are the three options for you to get tested. You need to get tested by this Sunday in order to come to the meeting on Wednesday. So I want to make that very clear. Officer reports, moving forward, officer reports were sent out this afternoon to you guys. So did anybody have any questions about any officers? I can't see if they're in the meeting or not, but did anybody have any officer questions? And if you're raising your hand, I can't see it. So Grant.
Just as you know, I'm just trying to help you facilitate this meeting. Okay, may I recognize Devin to speak?
Yes. Somebody, do we have a motion? Well, can somebody second?
I second it.
Okay, just real quick, and I'm sorry, I may just be slow on this, but so we're very clear. There are 19. What did we say? 19 total senators, Maria?
Yes.
And how many yay votes were there?
There were 12 yay votes.
It's my understanding, and I could be wrong, that 2/3 vote of 19 senators would be 13, 12.54 plus 1. Just wanted to double check.
I think it's out of present senators. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, it requires an absolute 2/3 majority. But Krista, I mean, if Krista wants to provide input, she may know better.
I can check bylaws real fast just to make sure. That's a good question.
It's my understanding that 2/3 absolute majority is 2/3 of all senators, both sitting and not sitting. And
That's
it's my
correct.
understanding that constitutional amendments are a 2/3 absolute majority, which I guess I believe Krista is checking. Like I said, 12.54, I guess that rounds up to 13. Just wanted to double check before we moved on. Sorry about that.
So yeah, it's a 2/3 absolute.
Okay. So that would mean that the bill did not pass.
Right, you'd need 13 yes votes.
Gotcha. Okay, so the bill did not pass through.
Quick question, does JT count in that? Because if JT didn't get a vote, then that would mean we have 18 total, or does...
Oh, good point. Well, it's still a split up for non.
I'm sorry, I may be speaking out of turn here, but I believe with 18, 2/3 would still be above 12. And even if it's below like the 12.5, I think it still does round up like it's 2/3 plus 1. 18 times 0.66. 18 times 0.6 is actually 11.88, which would round up to 12. But if there were only 11 yes votes, then it still fails.
How many yes votes were there?
I believe Maria said there were 12 yes votes, correct?
Yes, there were 12 yes votes.
If we're not counting JT, that means 12 divided by 18.
12
Well,
18 simplifies
Or
to
no.
2/3.
Yeah, 2/3 of 18 is 12, and if 12 senators voted yes, then the measure passes. That's my understanding of the situation.
So the issue is we don't know if JT JT's seat counts in this discussion.
Oh, well.
That's right.
Because he was not allowed to vote.
Yeah, the only time JT is allowed to vote is if there was a tie. The speaker breaks the tie. So he would not count. He would not count.
Would we
Right, I would count into that count for today. I shouldn't.
For today, he does not count.
So then it does pass.
It would pass, correct, Krista? Is that the correct?
I mean, I can't make that decision. I don't think it says in bylaws what to do when the pro temp is running the meeting, and whether that seat counts as part of absolute or not. So you'd have to ask the Supreme Court.
Oh.
'Cause I'm not the interpreter of your documents. If it doesn't say, I can't just make something up.
If I may interject as the as the senator, actually, David, you and I can now talk about this because we are the chairman of the Senate Internal Committee, and then we could make our recommendation to the speaker, because my interpretation or our committee's interpretation of the Constitution is whoever is speaker does not count for a vote. So in this terms, JT is the speaker, correct?
Technically, JT would be Speaker of the Senate and the President, correct?
With the Vice President not there, JT, the Speaker pro tem, is now the Speaker, so the Speaker does not have a vote.
That's correct. To my knowledge, yes.
So if I may, the decision can be made in the Senate now, and should someone wish to challenge it in the Supreme Court, they have the right to do so. But without further guidance from governing documents, I believe it's up to the Senate to make that determination, and then should it go to the Supreme Court, anyone has the right to do so.
Okay. So I think what's best for us right now is to put a motion on the floor. Well, somebody will have the motion for us to vote on this in regards to this bill because of the votes. So does anybody have a motion?
Is there a motion for this?
I'm sorry, I know I'm speaking out of turn. May I interject real quick?
Yeah.
Just so I can clarify, is this a vote to determine whether or not you are included within the total Senate tally for the 2/3 absolute majority vote? That's the motion on the floor.
That's the motion right now, to figure out am I included from our understanding of the Senate.
Sorry. Section 4, Article 1 of the bylaws, Officer of the Senate, it says, the Vice President shall serve as the Speaker of the Senate. And so basically the Speaker of the Senate, since it's JT, the Senate can request him to vote only if so it says, the Speaker of the Senate retains their territorial vote, but will exercise this privilege only to break a tie or when requested to do so by the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I motion for JT to vote on this particular bill.
I second.
Point of order. Was the vote not already taken?
Yeah.
The vote was taken, but we don't have. There's an issue, a constitutional question saying, doing the 2/3 absolute. JT would break the two. He would meet with JT's vote. We would meet the 2/3 absolute. So is now decide. Am I correct on this so far?
Point of order. I believe we're going to have to revote with JT.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, we will have to go through it. We will revote on the bill again and just include my vote on it. Because the motion has already been made. We've already motioned to agree that I'm going to vote on it through the motion y'all just made. So now we're going to re-pull up the bill, and then we're going to motion again to re-vote on it. Well, we'll just re-vote on the bill.
Okay, I motion that we re-vote on the bill now that the speaker is able, the Senate voted him to be able to cast a vote.
I second that.
Okay.
Did y'all, I heard a second for the vote, for JT to be able to vote, but a second is not enough.
Oh, we need to actually vote, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a vote, Senator Maria. And this vote, to be clear, this vote is to vote if I can take a vote on the bill once we do this revote after this. So this is just a vote that agrees that the Senate is saying that I can vote on this bill. And Senator Maria, you can start the voting.
Can we do that by roll call?
Yes, by roll call. By roll call.
Senator Casey?
Aye.
Senator Grant?
Aye.
Senator JT, you don't have a vote on this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Senator Jordan?
Aye.
Senator Navia?
Abstain.
Senator Stefania?
Aye.
Senator Tara,
Aye.
Senator Maria, aye. Senator Sophia,
Aye.
Senator Melisa,
Aye.
Senator Victoria, Senator Alexica,
Aye.
Senator Stephanie,
Aye.
Senator Brian,
Aye.
Senator David,
Aye.
Senator Andy,
Nay.
Okay, so we have 12 votes for JT's vote to count.
All right, so that has been approved. Okay, so now we are going to re-vote on this legislation again. Do we have a? I think we need to motion it. Can we get a motion?
I move to vote on S 2021 Bill 2, sitting senator eligibility.
I second.
Senator Casey,
Aye.
Senator Grant,
Aye.
Senator Germain, Senator Jordan,
Aye.
Senator Navia,
Abstain.
Senator Stephania,
Aye.
Senator Tara,
Aye.
Senator Maria, aye. Senator Sophia,
Aye.
Senator Melisa,
Aye.
Senator Victoria, Senator Alexica,
Aye.
Senator Stephanie,
Aye.
Senator Brian,
Aye.
Senator David,
Aye.
Senator Andy,
Abstain.
so we have 13 yes votes.
Perfect. Okay, the bill has been passed. Again, congrats to the authors, and then we will move forward, getting this to CAM, and then hopefully the referendum. We'll get into the referendum, and I'm excited about the implementation of how it will be done later on. All right, so moving forward in our agenda, back to officer reports. Does anybody have any questions as far as officer reports? And I can't see you if you have your hand raised. So Senator Grant and Maria, if y'all could just say your name.
I have a question, and I'll keep calling them out as I see them, JT. I don't know if she's on, but the communications director, are they here?
I can't see who's in the meeting. Is anybody from exec here? Krista, is anybody from exec?
I'm not sure. I can't see everybody's names just like y'all can't.
Oh, dang.
If they're not saying yes, then they must not be.
This is the problem. Okay.
Okay, so I'm looking at the participants, and I don't see the in particular exec that I'm looking for here. So I guess I withdraw my question.
Okay, my advice would be to send an email, and I'll make a note to Cam that you had a questions for the comms director.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else on any officer reports, questions, comments? Okay, I can't see.
Senator Andy, did you have a question? Your little hand announcement went up.
Sorry, it was for announcements.
Say it again.
I have something for announcements when it comes by.
Okay, one second. Okay, 1 second. Anybody else on officer reports before we move on forward in the agenda? Okay, I'm going to assume no. Okay, now we can move to announcements. Senator Andy.
So I was wondering if anyone wanted to hang back after the meeting is over so we can talk about maybe how we can, because voter turnout has been kind of low for SGA, is my understanding. So if anyone wanted to hang back and maybe throw out some ideas how we might be able to raise voter turnout, that was just an idea I had, just a brainstorming session.
Senator Andy, I'd like to add on to that just real quick. I will say that is a very dangerous precedent due to the election code. It is very specific on what we can and cannot say to be able to be eligible to for future candidates who are seeking re-election or seeking election in general. So
I think where he was coming from was not as a candidate or individual's point, but as what we can do to work with as exec and possibly the election board to increase voter turnout as an SGA standpoint, not as individuals.
Yeah,
thank you, Casey.
Senator Casey. That's what I was trying to address. I'm just saying I'm just giving like that warning to be careful that you are very specific on what you talk about, because it could be construed, and then if the election board finds that it's a wrongdoing or violates the election code, you can be disqualified for future candidates.
Also, my best advice, Senator Andy, is that we will not do it on Teams necessarily after this meeting. We will close this meeting down, stop the recording. If you have a Zoom link that you would like to send into the group chat, I highly recommend that. And from there, you can carry on this meeting, just to make sure there's no interference, as Grant has said, with the election code.
Sure, yeah.
I have an announcement. Also, too, the event for the NAACP with me as a political action chair has been pushed back to the 23rd of this month, so March 23rd. So I have not forgot about anybody who said they wanted to sign up. I'm going to make the group meet tomorrow for the event. So if you said that you wanted to participate, I haven't forgot about you. Also, the SGA ambassadors will be assisting us as well. So I didn't want anybody to think I forgot about them with that. Did anybody else have any other announcements? No? Okay, cool. Senator Maria, we will adjourn this meeting at 6:56 p.m. Everybody have a nice night.
Have a wonderful night, everyone.